Greetings, Libra and Libra rising. This is your Western forecast for December 2024. Communication Mercury is retrograde the first 2 weeks of December. Impulsive, aggressive, argumentative Mars is going to be triggering those more negative sides when it goes retrograde once every 2 years, December the 6th. So there's going to be a lot of arguments, tensions, impulsiveness, anxiousness, irritability in the world. But let's see how it's going to be impacting you. Because Libra, the core personality trait of Libra, is being a people pleaser and being the mediator and trying to find harmony and balance where there might be disagreements. So if you've been watching my videos, I like to start with where is the new moon? Because there's a new moon every 4 weeks. The new moon is directing our priorities and tension to where that new moon falls in your chart. For Libras and Libra risings in general, but these generalities work really well, the new moon's in Sagittarius, December the 1st. And Sagittarius is 3 signs past Libra. So what's being highlighted is third house. The third house is the sector of communications, writing, learning, speaking, selling, can be traveling, but the third house deals with more short distance traveling, weekend traveling, as opposed to the 9th house, the opposite the 3rd, which is more long distance traveling. Now, this new moon in Sagittarius, however, is being inhibited, limited by Saturn, because Saturn is forming a 90-degree angle to the new moon. So the new moon is being squared by Saturn, can bring in a lot of worrying, cautiousness. And when it comes to learning and communications, that Saturn could be bringing in some more negativity or not having the confidence. Now, that goes along with Mercury, that planet of communications, and it's the natural ruler of the 3rd house. The Mercury is retrograde several times a year, and it's a time of resetting your goals and expectations. The Mercury retrogrades November the 25th through December the 15th. And in Sagittarius, in your 3rd house. So you could be really questioning and reevaluating and second-guessing a lot of this 3rd house matters of learning, writing, selling. Now, Mars is retrograding. Now, it goes into Leo, into your 11th house, which is very favorable for group activities, teamwork, networking, friendships. But when it retrogrades, it feels more like it's taking so much more effort. It's more frustrating, more energy draining. Fortunately, it only happens once every 2 years. So the Mars will retrograde December the 6th through February the 23rd. But when it retrogrades, as it's appearing an optical illusion to be going backwards, it will leave Leo at the January the 6th and retrograde into Cancer, which retrogrades back into your 10th house of career matters. I'll talk much more about that in January's forecast, but keeping the focus here. But before I unpack this Mars and how it's frustrating being retrograde with Mercury, communication in Mercury, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. All right, so Mars, I talked about it last month in November. Mars went into Leo once every 2 years into your 11th. But it's going to then retrograde December the 6th through the end of February, but only remaining in Leo for the first time through the first week of January. So I talked about how Mars can be very productive moving through the 11th house of organizations, collaborations, teamwork. Mars usually likes to take the lead, be solo, be the boss. But when it is transiting the 11th, and I probably talked about this last month, there's more benefits working with a team, working in collaboration. Could be very favorable, doing a lot of networking with friendships. But then when it goes retrograde on the December the 6th, it could be triggering more impulsiveness, anxiousness, irritability. Those are all the dark sides of Mars. The best thing that is most advised, even Mercury in retrograde, Mars in retrograde, it's a time to, whatever that planet is bringing into your life, slow it down, start to look within and review and reassess, but stop pushing forwards, because you're only going to be putting a square peg into a round hole for the most part. Now, Venus is that planet of, well, Venus is the ruler of Libra, so it's an important planet for you. Venus is the planet of love and beauty and harmony, diplomacy, a lot of the qualities of Libra. Venus will move into Aquarius, an air sign, in harmony with Libra, an air sign, from December the 6th through January the 2nd. Venus just goes through around the chart through each sign just once a year. But it's in Aquarius, favorable for Libra, but Aquarius is 5 signs past Libra. So all that desire and harmony and creativity and romance that Venus can, which is all about, for the holidays, starting December the 6th, the Venus is focusing on 5th house matters. 5th house, romance, children, creative outlet. In business or in finance, it's about investing and gambling. The 5th house is entertainment, it's fun and games, it's sports, and the Venus is all that enjoyment. And that Venus in the 5th house, some of you could be going on vacation and going to entertainment venues and having such a great time, even amidst all the irritability of Mercury and Mars in retrograde. Some of you could be getting pregnant or giving birth. That's the 5th house. Some of you could be becoming infatuated, starting a new romance, or bringing some romance back into an existing relationship. Now, the Venus in Aquarius, in harmony with Libra, but Aquarius is opposite Leo. And Mars, that physical, ambitious, driven Mars, is in Leo. If Mars wasn't retrograde, and Venus is in the 5th house of romance, I would say that Venus-Mars being in opposite signs, would be triggering a lot of intimacy and passion, charisma, and just all these, a lot of sudden attractions. But it's retrograde. So you got to be careful, because with the Mars in retrograde and Venus is all that loving desire, it could start hot. It could, there could be an attraction that's very exciting and very sudden. But then with the Mars in retrograde, it could hit a brick wall, or circumstances like, pushes it to after the holidays, or it just brings in a lot of these frustrations. And with the Mercury and Mars and retrograde, now Mercury's retrograde the first 15 days, but the last 15 days of December, Mercury is what we're in this shadow period. So on the 15th, it stops going backwards, but it's not hardly moving at all forwards. It's like it's 0 degrees movement. And it takes about 2 weeks, that's the shadow period, for decision-making, discerning Mercury to be back to its regular speed. Think of it, Mercury as your mind. And as it stops, you could be doing a lot of reassessing and rethinking and reevaluating. But your mind is still slow and sluggish for those next 2 weeks before it picks up to speed. And Mars is retrograde the whole time. So December there's certainly going to be a lot of irritability and anxiousness in the world. I really think this goes to threatening violence with Iran and Russia and all that horrible situations. But there could be serious protesting around the world because the Mercury is all that disagreements and protesting and anger of Mars. Jupiter entered Libra or entered Gemini, favorable for Libra, the last couple of days of May 2024 into the beginning of June 2025. Jupiter overall wants to bring prosperity, optimism, growth. And it's very favorable being Gemini an air sign and Libra's an air sign, and very good for December for really enjoying life and traveling and vacations because your ruling planet Venus is in the other air sign, forming what we call a grand trine. When all 3 air signs are in harmony with one another, and the Jupiter in Gemini through early June 2025 is transiting your 9th house, highlighting your 9th house, travel, higher education, publishing. There was any legal matters, justice falls under the domain of the 9th and Jupiter, but it would all be more favorable than not. But I'm bringing up Jupiter because it's going to square Saturn, peaking December the 24th. Jupiter is prosperity. Saturn can be all this restrictedness. And it's going into the end of the year, and there's all this anxious frustration with Mars in retrograde. That Jupiter-Saturn could indicate some difficult, frustrating economic news around the world. For you, it might even be with the Jupiter in the 9th, that and the Saturn might have to reschedule, delay, or maybe you go to the airport, you go on your wonderful trip for the holidays, and you have to sit and wait for 6 hours for the plane, that sort of thing. The new moon is in that 3rd house, new ideas, writing, communications, December the 1st. 2 weeks after the new moon is always a full moon. The full moon brings to light and clarity of what works and what doesn't work that was started with the new moon in the 3rd house, of new ideas and learning and meetings and selling. So the full moon is going to be on December the 15th. And you might be feeling it for a couple of days, but that's it. But Gemini is also an air sign, aligning with the Jupiter, but the full moon falling in the 9th house, really bringing a lot of 9th house matters to light, And it's optimistic for the most part for Libra, but it's forming a square, a hard angle to Neptune. So it's only lasts a couple of days, but all things ninth house related with the Neptune could be some disappointments. Especially you have to reschedule travel plans. Or if you're really thinking about marketing, publishing, or getting more professional training, that's all into the ninth house. Around the 15th, these issues could be coming up of what to do. And with the Neptune, you could be confused of what to do. And Mercury just went direct on December the 15th with the full moon. So you might be really distracted, confused about decisions of all these ninth house matters. I say, give it a few days, sleep on it. Don't make any decisions. The sun is in Sagittarius the first 3 weeks every December. And December the 21st, it goes into more practical Capricorn. Sagittarius is adventurous, it's playful, it's upbeat. Capricorn becomes more serious, more traditional, more career-oriented. And this happens every year around December the 21st, remaining in Capricorn for those next 4 weeks. Capricorn is 4 signs past Libra. So the sun is putting a spotlight on 4th house matters, home, family, and real estate. Great for the holidays because the sun is shining in that 4th house of family. But the 3rd house is still going to be the dominant theme because the new moon puts this real emphasis for the entire month of 3rd house matters. And Venus is still going to be in Sagittarius until January the 8th. But the last week is you're starting to really get more interested and focus on the 4th house. More family activities, maybe deciding at the last minute to go travel, to visit family. Could be putting a focus on entertaining, not just family, but at home, inviting co-workers, neighbors, friends to your home. Could be focusing on cleaning it up, putting a fresh paint, remodeling, where that sun is spotlighting the 4th. But all those 4th house will become the dominant theme in January. But the dominant theme for December with the new moon in Sag is all on learning and selling and interviewing and meetings. I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or to check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next month, be safe and well.